Guys, what's up? My name is Justin Marc. Right now I'm in beautiful Toronto, Canada, and in this video, we're gonna talk to you about how you can actually manifest whatever it is you want and actually get into spiritual alignment, in touch with what you were put on this earth to do. So we're talking about spiritual alignment and manifestation. A lot of people, they struggle massively with being aligned with what their life purpose is, with what they're put here to do, with being happy and living that full life where you're constantly meeting the right people, being around the right influences, but really taking the right actions in life that would make you happy and allow you to live that full life, allow you to live that life of creativity, of fulfillment, of just being that person you know you're meant to be. And where does that come from? Well, that actually comes from your thoughts, words, and actions being in alignment with each other. And when you have that, you can actually manifest literally whatever it is you want. Whether it's manifesting a girlfriend, a relationship, a certain experience, a week, finances in your bank account, whatever it is, you can actually get all of those things in alignment with who you are, and then it just comes. You don't have to do it, you don't have to fight it, you don't have to live this crazy experience to have these experiences. It kind of just comes to you, you just attract it, because you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So let's jump straight into the video. Enjoy today's video, and do me a huge favor, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video before we jump in so we can get straight into it. All right, guys, so let's talk about manifesting your future. There's an amazing book called The Alchemist, okay? And in The Alchemist, you have this character who's living in Spain, and he lets go his life to go travel the world and go on this crazy journey. And how similar is that to our lives, where a lot of people, they think that they need to go through some crazy experience. They need to go travel in the world. I've done that. I've been in like 50 countries, constantly seeking something outside of myself, right? When in the end of the book, I don't want to spoil it, spoilers, but he realized that, he was exactly where he needed to be the entire fucking time. And when I think about a lot of what I've experienced in life, of course, I learned tons from traveling. I learned tons from meeting people. I learned tons from this whole kind of thing. But instead of looking within and trying to find myself within, constantly looking from the outside, how often do you find yourself in your day-to-day life trying to find some sort of external stimulation to make you happy, to leave you in the promised land, to allow you that future, that idealistic future that never comes, thinking that, because think about this, the future never comes. You only ever have that present moment, right? And it's interesting how that works, where we're always constantly looking and seeking to be in this idealistic future that never comes, right? And if you could just act in spiritual and emotional alignment with who you are, understanding your value as a human being, understanding the value you have to offer the world, understanding what you're put here to do, your skills, your talents, your abilities, your inner intuition, your inner self, oftentimes you're gonna actually know what the right thing to do is. So oftentimes, a lot of people will be working jobs they don't want to work, right? They'll be doing some sort of thing they don't want to do. They might be in a relationship they know is not good for them. They might be in some sort of business they know that's not good for them. But they'll never let go of it. Even they know intuitively and internally that's what needs to be done, right? So I think back to 7 years ago, I had these really nice comfy jobs. I worked for the Ministry of Transportation of Ontario. Nice comfy government job. If I stuck with them, I'd probably still be working with them right now. And I would have this nice comfy government job with a 60, 70K a year salary and benefits, and get my dental benefits and have a nice car or whatever. But instead, I decided to quit that job to go make friends on the street and talk to strangers and to live a young degenerate lifestyle at the time. But doing that was the best decision I ever made in my life. That was the best thing I could have ever done for myself, because I was in alignment with my thoughts and my words, and then therefore my actions. Because what I wanted to do at the time was go out, party, make friends, meet girls, have fun, live the life of a young man, right? I didn't want to work some bullshit, government, bureaucratic office job, right? That wasn't in mental alignment with what I wanted. That wasn't what I was speaking what I wanted. That wasn't what I physically wanted to experience. And so I put myself in a position where I had no money, but I was in alignment with what I wanted. And years down the road, it worked itself out because I took the right decision. So you gotta look at your life. How can you make sure that you're living a life of integrity, living a life that's virtuous, living a life that is, in alignment with what you want? Maybe you wanna be a travel blogger. Maybe you want to, open some sort of business. Maybe you want to have some sort of lifestyle where you're constantly being social, meeting people, making friends, getting out of your comfort zone, but you're not doing it because maybe your friends, your family, maybe people around you, their belief systems kind of subconsciously play onto you, and you feel that if you were to act a certain way or behave a certain way, it's gonna make you feel bad about yourself. Well, how do you let go of that? How do you let go of being someone that you're currently being and be someone different? Manifest the life you want. How do you let go of these past experiences of your self-identity and become a higher version of you? How do you create manifestations of what you want to live? When I look at how I actually behave, I almost speak what I want into existence. When I want money, I'll say it, I'll think it, I'll say, I'll look at my phone and be like, oh, my finances are down. I have this little AI app that goes to my bank account and tells me like if I'm making more money or spending more money or whatever. And I'll be like, I need to make some more money. Okay. Then I'll think about it. Then I'll say it. I'll say, oh shit, I need to make money. Anyone's around me, I'm like, fuck, I need to make money. I need to make some more money, right? Tell my roommate, tell my girlfriend or whatever, right? And I will speak that into existence. And then I will start acting in accordance. I will start trying to actively give more value, put out more value, ton of value, so that more money will slowly come to me, right? Because in life, you gotta give something to get it, right? Or even let's say I wanna meet some girls. Let's say I wanna go have fun. Let's say I wanna go party, whatever it is. I want to live a certain experience. I will write it down. So the first step of manifesting whatever you want is thinking it, okay? That's step number one. You need to think it. And then you need to speak it. And speaking it could also be writing it down, okay? Think it, and then you say it or write it down. It works the same. Saying it to someone or writing it down. Now, there's actually a statistical correlation that was done at Harvard University about 40 years ago, where they looked at the graduating class and they noticed that only a very small percentage of people had written down their goals, and even smaller percentage of people had wrote down their goals and an actual plan. And when they came back 20 years later, they found out that this very small percentage of people, 3% of the people, had written down their goal and an actual action plan of how they were going to achieve those goals. And what they found was that 3% collectively was worth more than the other 97%. But that 3% was worth 10x. So that 3%, the net worth of the 3% of the people who had those ideas, spoke them into existence, wrote them down, had an action plan, a game plan, a breakdown of how they're gonna achieve these goals, they were worth 10 times as the collective of the 97%. Blows my mind when you think about how this works. So if you can constantly create this reality by thinking what you want, speaking what you want, writing it down, right? Or telling your friends about it, right? And then having an actual plan of acting in accordance towards that goal, what you're gonna notice over a long period of time is you are constantly getting shit done. The other day I was hanging out with my good buddy Boris Baller. Fucking so much respect for that guy. I met my ex-girlfriend through Boris. A very amazing, passionate relationship. Boris, multimillionaire. He's always been a mentor to me, older gentleman, and just a really classy individual. Someone who acts in that spiritual alignment, someone who acts from a place of ethics, someone who acts in a place of, just understanding his value he has to offer the world. And what's crazy is he has an amazing relationship, he has a great family dynamic, he has a beautiful little son, right? But he also has tons of beautiful women around him, he makes tons of money, he's constantly starting different businesses, growing them to 6-7 figures, selling them, just killing the game, right? And what I noticed about Boris is he actually constantly writes down his goals. We were actually talking about how we'll constantly write down a list of things, which is a massive list, and the list never ends. We're constantly checking things off the list. Tick, 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 tick. But then for everything we, write down, let's say we write 5 things down, we only can do like 2 or 3 of them a day, right? So the list is an everlasting list, but over the course of 1 or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, you are achieving so fucking much every single day. And then what you find is you are very logically manifesting whatever it is that you want to achieve. A lot of people think manifesting your experiences is this weird woo-woo spiritual thing, which it could be as well, right? It definitely could be that as well. But a lot of it is just a very logical process of step by step by step by step, right? Your thoughts, words, actions being aligned, right? I used to study some very deep self-development material that was related to dating. And one of my old friends / mentors, Owen Cook, used to say that in a social interaction, you want your thoughts, words, and actions to be aligned. So that way, when let's say you're at a nightclub and you meet a beautiful girl, or you're out making friends, you're out being social, let's say you're walking into a business meeting, you don't want to be like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You don't want to be walking up to someone saying, I want to talk to you, and then you don't do it. You want everything to be in alignment, right? With how you're actually feeling inside. So you want to make yourself feel good, feeling love, sharing it, right? And alignment so that you can walk in the interaction, like, what's up? You can walk into the job interview and say, hey, this is me. This is all the value I can offer you. This is how we can make things work, right? You want to walk into the interaction in the nightclub when you're talking to that beautiful woman in alignment with who you are inside. Your thoughts, your words, your actions. You're thinking, wow, this girl is beautiful. I'm also a beautiful human. Let's share. You walk into that interaction and your body, step by step, is just so, there's no hesitation, there's no flinching, there's no it's just like, bang, in there. And the reason for that is because you're acting in accordance with who you are as a human being. You're acting in that kind of alignment, which is almost a spiritual thing, right? It's weird how a lot of guys I coach on my live coaching programs, they're going into not just their dating relationships, their intimate relationships, their friendships, their social interactions, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but they're doing that in all areas of their life. They're doing that in their careers. They're doing that in their family relationships. They're doing that in every area of their life where they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and they're not acting in accordance with who they are. And because of that, they can't live a life they're happy. They can't live a life where they're killing it. They can't live a life where they're constantly on top of their shit, making things happen. So in order to live a life of that alignment, you need your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, your actions, the things you do to be 100% aligned with how you feel inside, okay? It doesn't get any more simple than that. That's what alignment is. And once you have that, you know you're in spiritual alignment. You know logically that you are aligned with what is meant to be there, what is meant to be done, and that way you can act accordingly. And then things are just gonna happen. Every action has a reaction. That's a law of physics. So whatever way you're acting in, whatever actions you're taking, right, they're gonna have an opposite reaction. And oftentimes that opposite reaction can be positive experiences. It might be that new business deal. Maybe you end up getting some sort of promotion at work and then now you can buy that fancy car that you wanted, right? It might be meeting that beautiful girl on the street in the nightclub and she becomes your girlfriend, right? So it comes down to that thoughts, words, actions, and writing down those goals and then making them fucking happen. Guys, just out here in beautiful Toronto, joined with
Amira.
Amira, where are you from?
I'm from Paris. I just got here.
Ooh, you can hear the amazing French accent. This amazing French traveler woman who just came to a foreign country in the middle of a pandemic. That's awesome. I love it.
Ever.
It's the best idea. The best idea. Okay, so question for you. Are you spiritual at all?
Define spiritual?
Do you feel, I mean, that's a great question. How do you define spiritual? I would say the best way to define spiritual is being in touch with your inner intuition and being in touch with what you feel the universe or God or whatever has laid out for you. Do you feel like you're in touch with yourself at all?
Yes. Then I can answer the question. Yes, I think I'm spiritual.
All right. How do you feel that one can get in touch with themselves, get in touch with their spirituality, get in touch with, that inner intuition?
I think that's a very long journey. I don't think I can have an answer just like that. I think a lot of people are born into a religion, by their parents or not, and that kind of gives you like a package to begin with. But then it's your own, whether you're born into a religion or not. I think after that, it's your own duty to pursue that and to dig into that or not. So I personally was born Muslim. I'm still a Muslim, but I did take a more serious look into the spirituality of Muslim and not just the traditions and what we do in the community. But I think that's really that really depends on what happens in your life and where you're on with that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I know this is such a weird, woo-woo, subjective topic. So it's like, how do you even answer this question? You did a great fucking job, to be honest. That's a great thing. Like a lot of people's like religions or like cultural background or their ethnicity or whatever. Like, so for example, my parents are like really Catholic, but I don't really consider myself religious. But then recently, over the last 5 years, I went on this crazy spiritual journey of just like self-reflection and just, it's crazy how I find a lot of people neglect this area of their life completely, and they're completely shut off to it. They're not open to experiencing new things, and I think that's a huge, huge fucking problem. And so, what would you say to people who don't have any alignment with who they are in terms of like that inner intuition?
I don't think I would say anything to them, honestly. This is a personal journey, so if they're not ready for that, then let them be, I don't think this is, there's a one answer that I will give them. I don't have the answer. Yeah. I'm not going to give them the answer.
No one really has the answer. It's a good thing. It is a personal journey. But let's say someone wanted to get more in touch with their spirituality, get more in touch with that inner intuition. What type of because again, like, I feel like life in general is everyone just trying to figure it out as we go along. No one has the fucking answer. Anyone who says like, I have the answer is lying or trying to get money from you, right? Like they're trying to like take your money or get you to join their like fucking cult or whatever, right? It's like something weird's going on, right? But at the same time, I do feel like there's a lot of people out there who are a little bit more in touch with things maybe, or have more experience than you might. So, you seem like someone who is pretty in touch with themselves. So what type of like ideas or perspective would you share with someone who wants to start learning or start getting in touch with themselves?
Honestly, I don't know. I think a good thing is to stop and think. Some people meditate.
Introspection.
Try to see what's inside of yourself. But I don't think that there's one way that I could. I know meditation has been helping me and my sisters actually quite a lot with that, and that this is something that we do now pretty regularly. But it worked for us. I don't know if it's gonna work for them.
No, meditation, it's like an almost universal way to find that inner peace and get back in alignment with yourself. And a lot of people neglect that. Like the average person, if you ask them to spend time alone, they're like on the phone, they're like on the laptop. Like most people can't be alone with their thoughts, right?
You said you went on a trip, like a spiritual trip 5 years ago. What triggered that?
So over the past 5 years, I have gone on this crazy emotional journey that's like, it's been ups, downs, lefts, rights, even times where it's like pause, where like there's like no spiritual flow of energy. I don't think it's necessarily that anything triggers that. I think it's just something you get in touch with. Does that make sense to you? It's just like something that kind of happens, and I think it's something that happens when you're ready for it. I don't think anything that specifically triggers it. I think it's something that comes with emotional maturity, experience, adulthood. And for a lot of people, it doesn't ever come. I think you truly need to act in accordance with your life. Like your thoughts, your words, and your actions need to be completely aligned in order for it to, I guess, be triggered and happen, Does it make sense? That's just my take on it though. Right? Who knows? Maybe I'm fucking wrong. Like, you'd also just take like psilocybin mushrooms and trip balls in a fucking forest and then like fall into like spiritual alignment. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, or like go to like Nepal. I have a friend who was having relationship issues, so he went to Nepal to like the Himalayas to meditate for like 2 months, and then he came back like a different person, just super aligned with themselves. You know? So there's many things you could do to trigger it, I guess you could say, but I think it's something that calls to some people more than it does to others. So I remember a few years ago, I'd moved back from Australia to Canada, and I was hanging out with one of my old friends and mentors. His name was Joseph Rodriguez. I actually met Joseph because he had seen my content before he was even a content creator, and now he makes awesome book reviews and very like spiritual woo-woo self-development books specifically, and he reviews these on YouTube. And I remember him telling me that, Justin, when you're in alignment, it is not you speaking. It's not you taking those actions. Just, it's not you coaching those students. It's God acting through you as a vessel. This is some woo shit, very hard to understand and comprehend, but bear with me because this is gonna make a lot more sense later on in your life, okay? Oftentimes, when you are in alignment to yourself, where you feel like this is what I was put here to do, you probably haven't even experienced this, or maybe you have in very small amounts, in fleeting moments that kind of come and go. Well, oftentimes it's literally like you actually aren't in control. Oftentimes when I film these videos, people look at me and they're like, how do you turn this on? How do you put this on? The truth is, I'm not planning what to say. I'm sharing wisdom and experience, but it's not like I'm even in control. I'm not thinking about what to say. It's almost as if I'm a vessel and like a higher power is speaking through me. I know it sounds woo as fuck. I'm not trying to say I'm enlightened. I'm not trying to say I'm this like higher being or some shit. I'm just a fucking dude making content, right? But what's crazy about that is you never know how that can impact someone on a micro or macro level down the road. And so when I get messages every day about how the videos have impacted their lives or helped them find some sort of centeredness in their lives, that's amazing. And so that's the kind of feedback you'll be getting when you feel that alignment. And you might get that on a small level, you might just get that inside. It might not even be a logical thing that comes on the outside, but usually it's you being aligned with yourself that allows you to have those really positive emotions. And then it creates this amazing feedback loop of positive experiences in your life. And you're gonna find that you're constantly getting rewarded. You're constantly getting these positive experiences back. And so when people talk about manifesting things, when you see these really woo-woo videos about manifest your destiny or manifest something, or you just think about, you know, it's almost like we're in a simulated reality. You can like create whatever experience you want to have by focusing on it, the inside. That's actually what can happen. You focus on the inside and you truly feel the experience. It's gonna actually happen on the outside. So let's actually talk right now about how you can actually do this. How do you go from someone with social anxiety, like a robot, right, and feeling nervous, to actually creating that life you want where you're social, happy, confident, go-getter, killing it, right? Cool friends around you, maybe awesome, intimate partners in your life, maybe a mass quantity of intimate experiences that you're having lots of fun with, if you know what I'm saying, right? Or maybe it's you making lots of money. Well, how do you do that? So we're gonna do a little experiment right now. I want you to actually feel of how it feels right now. Try to logically feel the emotion of whatever it is you want. Maybe you wanna make lots of fucking money. How does it feel to have $1 million in your bank? How would you feel right now knowing you have $1 million in your bank account? How does that feel? Feels fucking good, doesn't it? Feel that emotion, constantly feel that. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be about money. It doesn't have to be about girls or dating or partner, whatever it is. It could be about your health, it could be about anything, whatever you want to manifest. The trick is to constantly feel like you already have it. You want to affirm the emotions. It's like an affirmations of an emotion. You want to feel the emotion as if it's already there, as if you already have it inside you. And once you can feel that constantly, you feel that you have it inside you, what happens is intuitively, emotionally, you're gonna start taking the right actions. Once again, thoughts, the words, the actions, right? You're gonna start taking the right actions to make those things happen. Once you feel like you already have it, the actions you take, they're gonna be so in accordance to that experience that you wanna create and manifest for yourself that you're gonna make sure it happens subconsciously, because your subconscious brain is actually in control of your life. Your conscious brain is not in control. Your subconscious brain is in control. And so once you can make sure your subconscious brain is in control, it's a game changer. You can create whatever life you wanna live. So how do you go from, let's say you have like some average job, you're making like 30 grand a year and you wanna make a 6-figure income. How do you go from someone with social anxiety to not having a girlfriend and being that guy who's comfortable having beautiful women around him? How do you go from being that person who doesn't have an experience and now you want to have that experience, but you don't know how to even play that role? Well, you got to truly feel what it feels to have that, because it's all created on the inside. When you can feel it on the inside, it manifests itself on the outside. So if you want to have lots of love in your life, you got to feel love and self-love inside yourself, and then it'll create itself on the outside as well, right? If you want to have a lot of success or whatever that means to you, right? You need to feel that internally, right? And then act in accordance, act in alignment to that on the outside through your actions. And then it'll kind of just happen, right? So whatever happens on the outside, your outer life is a reflection of the inner, of the inside. And so when you can do things like meditation to intuitively get in touch with who you are and what's inside, right? Or when you can do things such as, solo travel to really build your character, right? Or when you can do things such as offering value to others, right? You can actually build that kind of spiritual connection to yourself. It's really interesting how that works. And that's why you'll see a lot of people, they'll do charity work because it helps build that inner character. That's why you'll see a lot of people try to do something purposeful to give back to the world, because it's not about money and success. It's about giving back to yourself, first of all. You have to be number one, or the people around you, right? Giving to the people around you, right? Because think about this, if you don't give to yourself, how can you give to the people around you, right? And then even out to the people you don't even know, right? Just being a good person, going out to the world, holding the door open for strangers. Why do people do that? It's because oftentimes those people are open to meeting new people and bringing them into their inner circle, right? So with a lot of what I teach with soul skills and meeting people and that social skills aspect of getting your life handled, think about this, right? I'm very protective of who I let in my life. I have a very tight-knit inner circle, right? A very close inner circle. Then I've got a larger outer circle, and I can pick people from the outer circle to come to my inner circle. Then I've got an even larger outer circle of like acquaintances, people who see my content, people I'm meeting on the street, clubs, bars, events, social events, online dating apps, whatever it is. And I can bring those people into my closer outer circle, right? And so you want to do that in your own life as well. You want to make sure you're constantly offering value and creating a systematic, synergetic process of giving value to the people around you, of whatever it is you do in your career, your business, your relationships. You're constantly finding win-wins all around. Like, you win, I win, they win, she wins, he wins, everyone is winning. Creating a situation where every single person wins. So if you look at a lot of successful relationships, usually they're win-win, right? So I always look at my relationships and I say, am I getting more value from this, or am I giving more value? You should always feel like every relationship you have, you're getting more value. And the reason for that is, imagine this, right? Let's say my best friend Nicholas, right? I feel that me and Nick, we're such good friends. We've been friends for so fucking long, right? And Nick gives me so much value that sometimes I'll just be like deep in meditation. I'll be thinking about how much value he gives to me. Like just emotionally text him in the middle of the night, be like, bro, you're irreplaceable to me. I love you, man, right? And he feels that same way for me. We both feel like we're getting more value from the other person. And because of that, we'll constantly like have this like almost internal fight to feel, I need to give more value to my friend because he gives me so much value. So you're creating this almost like fight to give the other person more value. It's almost like a battle to give the other person more value, right? It's like, I'll buy him like lunch or whatever, right? And he'll be like, "I want to buy you something now." And it's this like fight. We're fighting to give each other things. It doesn't have to be monetary. It could be friendship. It could be just being there for your homie, right? Well, you want to actually have that same dynamic in your entire life, in your relationships, your intimate relationships, your business, your career, right? Like, look at your career. You should feel that you're giving it your fucking all, whatever it is you're doing, right? And you're getting so much value from it. Not just monetary value, but fulfillment, relationships, experience, etc. And then you as an employee or your career, whatever the fuck it is, or whatever you're doing, you should feel that the people around you are getting a ton of fucking value. And the people around you should feel that you're irreplaceable to the organization. You're a very key piece, right? You're the queen on the chessboard. That's like the kind of vibe that should be around, right? And if you're not in that position, you need to start getting back and acting in that alignment, in accordance to what you should be. And this won't come overnight. It is definitely something that takes time to come up, but it is something you build over time in building yourself. All right, so guys, when it comes to being aligned, being spiritually aligned, getting your thoughts, words, actions aligned, manifesting your life, and getting in touch with your spirituality, how does one even do that? How does one even get to that? Like, if you're thinking, where do I start? How do I do this? Like, there's so many different ways. And first, I would say, and this is the most common, important way, is meditation, going within yourself. Because 20 minutes of meditation a day, if you can do that every single day for 8 weeks, rewires your brain, creates new neural pathways in your brain, and literally changes your life, okay? Now, there's so many different ways you can get into this. Again, right, I had a friend who went to Nepal for 2 months to meditate in the Himalayas, and you can imagine the crazy metaphysical experiences, like spiritually, that he was having. Some crazy stuff, right? But you don't need to necessarily do that. You can start in your own bedroom. You can sit in bed, meditate for 20 minutes a day, have all this stuff come up. A lot of people use psychedelic drugs like mushrooms or DMT or LSD to do that. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying do whatever it is you can to find that alignment within yourself, right? So things like meditation, even things like fitness, building your body, things like good habits, kind of get you in touch with yourself. Anything you do to get more in touch with who you are inside, doing things that feel purposeful, doing things you're actually passionate about as well. So even hobbies or things you're passionate about actually allow you to feel more in touch and in tune with yourself. And then over a long period of time, you're gonna build that really close relationship with yourself. And what you'll find is a lot of amazing things will just start falling into place and start happening. So that's kind of how you start. And then it becomes this very interesting solo journey of experiences that are gonna build you and kind of lead you in the right direction. Now, there's also tons of books, resources online. There's tons of awesome YouTube channels that talk about spirituality. There's tons of free resources online. There's awesome books. And one amazing book I would recommend to you to get you started is The Alchemist. Search it up, The Alchemist book, okay? I think it's by like a Spanish author or something like that. And jump into that. Awesome piece of content. There's so much out there that can help you start getting in touch with the spiritual side of who you are. So guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Justin Marc. If you have any questions at all, leave it in the comments down below. I'll try to respond to every single question. Or you can actually message me on my social media, my new Instagram, drunkjustin2. Or you can actually message me on any of my social medias linked in the description. And make sure to subscribe to our channel. I love making these videos for you guys. I want to make more, and I hope I'm doing a great job. And make sure to leave a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm so more people see this video. Also, when you click subscribe to our channel right now, that you're gonna do that in a moment, right? I'm gonna manifest it. I'm manifesting your click subscribe, right? Make sure to click the bell notification so you get notified of new videos. And I'll see you guys in a new video very soon. My name is Justin Marc. I'll see you soon.